Well, a big crowd here at the Rio Poker Room being treated to some very entertaining poker at this final table. 3 pros and a taxi driver. Mike Sexton with pocket kings. And he's going to raise it up to $22,000.
There were 3 ways to get into the TOC: win a circuit event, make the final table the 05 main event, or get a sponsor exemption.
Mataso was at that 05 final table. Negreanu and Reslak won circuit events, and Sexton got a sponsor exemption. Negreanu with queen deuce will make the call. Sexton with the advantage going to the flop. The flop 5, 7, 6 rainbow. Sexton's kings keep Daniel in hot water. Daniel checks. And Sexton will slow play the kings to the turn. It's a deuce. Daniel pairs his card. A couple of more outs there for him.
Daniel's still far behind.
But he is going to bet it. 30,000 chips.
Well, for all Daniel knows, his deuces are the best hand right now. Sexton might have just a couple of high cards.
And Sexton's right behind him with the call. River card is another 5. Sexton gets the check mark with kings up. Negreanu will be first to act, and he checks it now. Mike Sexton with kings and 5s bets 50,000. That got Daniel's attention.
He's betting 50,000 into a pot of 110,000. Value betting this baby. Yeah, Daniel's thinking, what can I beat? And of course, what does he have?
He might have like kings, I guess. It's crazy.
He might.
2 kings?
That is unearthly. Daniel might be an alien.
Time and time again, we hear him call out his opponent's cards. He might have x-ray vision.
I just want to see him.
Oh, he was going to pay for the information and make the call.
How scary is this guy?
You have kings?
How scary is this, really?
Yeah, I thought that's the only hand you could have was 2 kings. At least I called it right.
Buddy, that is dabbing it there now.
I didn't have any clue what you had. How's that?
I put him on kings and still paid it off.
That was impressive, though.
That was.
Nice read.
Yeah.
I had no clue what Mike
If it was a nice read, I would have threw it away. But actually, no, it was a fine read, because that's the only hand I thought that... Never mind.
Wow.
I just paid it to see if I'm playing good, basically.
Yeah, but you said kings.
Or
If
if
you
I'm
wouldn't
reading
have paid
good.
it, he would have showed you the
We're
game.
talking about that call at the offices all around America tomorrow.
Yeah, give me a confidence boost.
That's why the man was the player of the year.
Pocket 5s.
This will be good enough to open up for a raise, I suspect. Daniel likes to play a lot of hands.
Good enough to get rid of Youngland and Lederer. Lee Nelson sees 8 deuce and puts it in the trash, quite rightly.
And nobody wants to take on Daniel Negreanu here.
Action around to Magnus Persson, the Swede. He's in the big blind, and he decides that there's value enough to make the call, even with 10-8 offsuit.
Well, he does have 2 overcards, luckily for him.
They have both missed that. It's given a gut shot to Persson, but he won't like those spades.
And Daniel Negreanu is definitely going to make a continuation bet here.
It's legitimate for Magnus to put him on the ace. He did bet in early position, but
with a gut shot, it's worth a small call. Well, that may get Persson a free card here.
Daniel gave him an iffy look. He wants to see a river card. So nothing for nobody. And now Magnus bets. Time for Daniel to put his thinking cap on.
Daniel's got a tough call here. He represented the ace, but now because he checked the turn, it looks as if Persson might have that ace. Tough position for Daniel Negreanu.
Weird. Something doesn't feel right. I don't know.
Magnus trying to look as relaxed as possible, like he's definitely winning this hand.
Daniel Negreanu does know that the story doesn't make sense.
Rule that out. I'm so suspicious, to tell you the truth.
And if Daniel is suspicious, that means he's definitely considering a call here. Wouldn't be surprised at all, one of the great readers in poker, if he made this call. And he does. Correctly so.
Yeah, same idea. It was an all or nothing call. All right, thank you. Good one. Thank you.
Daniel Negreanu knew he was either up against a monster or a complete bluff.
so suspicious for some reason.
Let's get back to our featured table where Daniel Negreanu is front and center. And Negreanu with Queen 10 offsuit.
I know how badly Daniel wants to win the main event, but I still think he does too many other things. He plays golf. He's got his own blog. He's doing Wii bowling. He's scattered.
He does raise it to 3,000. Over to Ryan McLean with pocket aces. He's another Canadian player. He's from Edmonton.
Maybe this is the Canadians' year to win the main event.
A re-raise to 9,000 from the small blind from McLean. So that action back to Daniel now from Toronto. Lives here in Vegas.
I don't really want to, but I kind of have to.
Well, you didn't have to, Daniel, but he did. He calls.
6,000 more. These two Canadians to the flop. It is 5-4 Queen, and that's dangerous. Daniel paired his top card.
You see, Daniel hits top pair and he's hopelessly behind. That's why he didn't have to.
You know what I think he's got? Aces.
That is uncanny.
I think he's got 2 aces.
What do you do if you're McLean now?
Well, I'm not even sure McLean has aces, and we can see his cards.
McLean, a little more than half the pot. Bets 12,000 with his aces.
Well, if Daniel is so sure he has aces, why did he reach for chips?
Ace!
Yeah, he made the call.
Give him an ace over there.
Turn card is a deuce. No help to Daniel. McLean checks this time.
You know, I think Daniel's talk has frozen McLean. Daniel talked his way into a free card.
There's a 5 on the river, and that earns McLean the check mark.
Why would you check aces on the turn? That was such a strange play. You had a straight turn on everything.
If I'm McLean and he's got the best hand, I just want to crawl into a hole. It's like Daniel is flashing a spotlight in your face.
McLean checks it. Daniel checks it out. There you go.
Aces.
I told you I knew what he had. I had a queen.
Wow.
Spooky, man. I was like...
Well, Daniel might have lost the pot, but the respect he won by calling the aces is invaluable.
Over 340 Division I teams vying to be there. There's always going to be some debate, Ali, as to who makes it in our tournament.
Yeah, but it's easier when there's only 340 teams. There are literally millions of poker players out there, some of whom no doubt felt that they should have been here.
Both Chris and Daniel pair their king on the flop. Chris has Daniel outkicked.
That's it. Neither player has a heart in their hand on the all-heart flop. And I like this move by Chris Moneymaker. He's check raising. He hopes to take the pot right here. Doesn't want to let a heart peel off and be in no man's land.
Daniel makes the call. Turns 8 of diamonds.
That card gives Chris Moneymaker a gut shot straight draw to go with what is currently the best hand.
He bets 2,000.
Something I smell. Smelling something bad over here. Anybody else I would have called. Not anybody else, but I think you got it. I don't know. Maybe